Good morning and welcome to the trade setup right here on BQ Prime. I'm Neeraj Shah. Let's take stock of the global news flow. The things look okay. So Microsoft has announced from amongst the global news flow, firstly, Microsoft has announced a new multi-billion dollar investment in OpenAI. A bunch of people are fairly uh, large users of ChatGPT. I just thought it was important from that perspective that that platform is now growing and growing seriously. Spotify is amongst the other companies to cut its workforce. The company's announced a cut in 6% of its total workforce. Piyush Goyal said that Apple wants to manufacture 25% of its iPhones in India from the current 6 to 7%, and that's not bad news. In fact, it's very good news from an India perspective that the premier global product companies is increasing its manufacturing base out of India. Bitcoin's 2023 rally gathers steam as the cryptocurrency briefly topped $23,000 yesterday. It's quite surreal at somewhere around month and a half or thereabouts. I don't remember the exact time. We had an article on BQ Prime from Dr. C.K. Narayan, wherein he wrote about how he thought that Bitcoin was making a bit of a bottom. There has been a 40% rally since then. Well, uh, sometimes charts do tell a story, I guess. Anyways, US markets did okay. The Nasdaq in particular, yet again, a good move, 2% higher. Dow and the S&P doing okay. It's essentially this belief that ahead of the Fed speak and maybe the Fed will go a bit soft on the rate hike trajectory or commentary, as a result of which this is happening in the Nasdaq. Look at CBOE VIX, look at the dollar index. All of them are actually in favor. The dollar index was at 101.4 yesterday. It's 101.65, so just around there. 10-year yield 3.5, VIX about 20.85, 21. No great shakes there. This GX Nifty indicates a start which is in the positive. And mind you, with the current start, it is just above that recent range. And therefore, I think the resistance levels to watch out for would be about about 18,250, 18,300. That's, I think, the 50-day moving average or thereabouts, but 0.5% uptick. Remember, India is a bit of an outlier, as Vaibhav Sanghvi was saying yesterday, that all of 2022, or at least until the better part of 2022, India did really well. The rest of the markets did not. Now the rest of the world is participating, and India is not, and you've got to accept that. You have fabulous 2022, so this bit of underperformance is to be anticipated, if you will. So what's the traders that set up for the day looking like? Global markets are looking strong ahead of the Fed speak on Friday, but Indian markets are, as I said, not in sync. The only good part is that the FII Long Short Ratio has improved from 38% to 52%, which may actually help the sentiment on a corrective move. The IT sector is outperforming the broader markets, and select large cap IT stocks may continue the uptake. So picture this, viewers. Banking, BFSI, the performance fundamentally is looking very strong. Also because of the results, and we'll talk about Axis Bank as well. But we've seen ICICI Bank, Kotak Bank, now Axis, all of them do well. So BFSI on the results is doing well, and IT as a space is doing well. So combine both of these together, if you put it together, that's a large part of the market which has got some bit of positive undertone to it in the last few days, and that should only augur well. So let's wait and watch how that goes. Think of it, viewers, actually, that for the longest part, IT has not been doing well. Now that IT is outperforming the Nifty and the banks are giving that fundamental support so that the banks don't crack, that should be a potent combination. The only thing is we are so range bound that I suspect that a lot of traders, short-term traders, will come out and sell the market today on open, believing that it's very difficult to eclipse or cross either side of the range. To be honest, bunch of results today. Among the large ones, Maruti, SBI Cards, Pidilite are the ones. Then you look at Sona, BLW, TVS Motors. From the FMCG space, United Spirits, Apollo Pipes, HDFC, AMC are important numbers as well, especially Apollo Pipes ahead of the numbers has rallied a little bit. And after Triveni Turbines numbers, some expectations from Triveni Engineering, so that is to be watched out for as well. So watch out for each of these. Some of these could actually deliver a decent quarter. It will be very important to see the commentary from United Spirits and Pidilite, considering what some of the other consumption names have spoken about. Stocks to watch today. I would watch out for Axis Bank. The numbers seemed okay. The MK note kind of lays it out really well. They were buy. They raised the target price to 1,300 versus 1130 a share, and it's largely in line with what some of the other brokerages have done as well. MK has revised the target multiple to 2.1 times December 24 adjusted book value from 1.8 times, purely on the back of these numbers. They've revised the earnings estimates upwards for 23, 24, 25. They say that the bank now expects the NIMs to remain structurally healthy, which is a positive sign, and the City retail portfolio acquisition deal is well on track and should be consummated within the guided timeline. So no surprise there that there is a bit of a positivity uh, in, in the market. So do watch out for that one. The other piece, some numbers to watch out for. I'll watch out for Triveni Turbines. Very strong set of numbers. The console sales were up 44%, owing to strong exports and domestic markets. Gross margins expanded to 48.6%. The PAT was up 47.5%, led by healthy revenue growth and higher other income as well. And the order inflow didn't look bad. 31% growth is not bad, owing to a strong domestic market, even if their export markets came off a little bit. Net net, good set of numbers. Is not necessarily the most liquid stock, it's given a good set of numbers and therefore should be in focus. Poonawalla FinCorp, the asset quality looked pristine, if you will, compared to what it did in the past. So NII up 33%, net profit up 87%. But look at the gross and the net NPAs and the pullback there quarter on quarter. 1.69 versus 4.05 and the net NPA 0.89 versus 1.97. Very strong asset quality, and that should augur well. Similarly for Karur Vysya Bank, the asset quality looked very, very strong. Second straight quarter of the asset quality improving for Karur Vysya Bank. NII was up about 30%. Net profit was up 56%. Gross NPA 2.66 versus 3.97. Net NPA 0.89 versus 1.36. So really strong show by both of these financial names on the asset quality, and that should augur well for both of these. Inline numbers from Container Corporation and Syngene International. Concor also has a new appointee in a senior management position. Brokerages have sounded positive, but I thought it was just an inline set of numbers. Um, what looked slightly weak relative to estimates was Gland Pharma. Revenues were down 12%, 938 versus 1114. EBITDA margin 30.9 versus 31.5 estimated. Net profit 231 versus estimated 269. So it didn't look a very strong set of numbers. Zensar, the reason I've not kind of perked it right up, despite it looking strong, is that because quarter two was a terrible quarter for Zensar. So from there, naturally, an improvement was expected, but the revenues are still down 3% quarter on quarter. EBITDA margins have improved from 4.55. Really, there's only one way to go, and that is up. And therefore, the PAT is up 14.68%. But not out of the woods as yet. I wouldn't look at the margin number and think that, oh, things are hunky dory for Zensar. If anything, they're not. But who knows? I may be wrong. I would still believe that still some time for the company to improve. Um, KEI Industries revenues were up 14%. EBITDA margin looked okay, flattish but looked okay, and net profit was up 27%. The reason I bring it up is because a few brokerages said that the numbers look solid. For my mind, not a bad set of numbers, but I mean it's okay. So let's wait and watch what happens there. Um, Lock-in period ends for a couple of companies like LN Electronics and KFin Technologies this week. Not today, but this week. So therefore, do watch out for these names all through this week. Order wins were seen for BLS International, which has signed a contract with Malaysian Immigration Authority, or Wellspun Corp, which is a Saudi Arabia-based company, signed contracts worth 1234 crores, or for that matter, Dilip Buildcon, when the company's JV has been selected for a project worth 1947 crores. So maybe these three, either of any of these three, could see a bit of a reaction. And Gland Pharma doesn't surprise me simply because if you look at what's happening in chemicals and pharmaceuticals, they are feeling the pain of what's probably happening in Europe and otherwise. Look at the FNO stocks, which hit 52-week lows yesterday. Uh, and Atul Limited, the new low was 7033, close was 7139. Voltas, RT, Laurus Labs, just that whole pack of chemical stroke pharmaceutical names are really getting hit very badly, and not surprising there. Um, uh, Tata, Tata Communications, I thought was also interesting. I haven't brought out that number, but the revenue was was up 8.2%, but margins were a bit of a miss. Debt declined by 130 crores quarter on quarter, and which is probably a slight good sign. But otherwise, the numbers are a mixed bag, if you will. A lot was anticipated, but a mixed bag set of numbers for Tata Com as well. Yep. So I think that's the long and short of today's trade setup. I will watch out for Karuvasya Bank. I'll watch out for Poonawalla FinCorp. I'll watch out for Triveni Turbine. Uh, those three for sure, and um, maybe Zensar. Margins looked and the PAT look okay, but I think the revenue numbers were disappointing. And to my mind, that is something to be keenly watched out for. Thanks so much for tuning into the trade setup. Have a great day. Remember, a bunch of result conversations lined up today. We'll be talking to Root Mobile and a couple of other companies. So that's a set of conversations that you might want to tune in for. Syngene, by the way, which came out at the inline set of numbers, but again, not a bad quarter on the top line front, and therefore we'll be interested in talking to Jonathan Hunt about it. And yesterday, RK Forgings had a remarkable day, up about 5%. It'll be interesting to see what that forging company has to say as well. So I will definitely watch out for each of these names in the session today. And of course, these interviews today, that is. For the stocks to watch, I already mentioned what I believe would be the ones to focus on. Thanks so much for tuning into the trade setup. Have a great day ahead.